Good afternoon to all the students. So we have completed major portion of our syllabus, but we are left with some of the topics like recursion, algorithms, and the complexities of the algorithms and the pointers. Right. So in today's session, we try to complete the recursion concept, and if time permits, we'll go and discuss the algorithms, right. So after completion of the algorithms, we will end up the session, and from tomorrow onwards we will discuss the complexities, that is the asymptotic notations that are used to estimate the performance of the algorithms, right. Big O notation, big theta, big omega, all these notations we will discuss, and pointers also we will complete it by this weekend, right. So in today's session we are going to discuss what recursion is. Can anybody tell me what do you mean by recursion?
Function call itself, sir.
So it is a process where a function calls itself. Why do we need to call a function? Anybody please answer. Why do we need to call a function? If you know, please say yes, or if you don't know, please say no, so that I can proceed. So what is the need for calling a function? Right, we have function definition. At least tell me, what do you mean by function definition?
Collection of instructions which can perform a specific task, sir.
Just give me 1 minute. Right. So a function definition is nothing but a set of statements that will perform a task, right. So when we want to execute the function, or when we want to execute the statements that are present inside the definition of a function, we need to invoke that function. It is called as invoking. It is a terminology that is used in the programming language, right. So invoking a function. So when you want to invoke a function, then you should call that function. So for the purpose of invoking the function, we should call that function. And what is the purpose of invoking? It is nothing but executing the body of the function. It is nothing but execution in simple terms. So in order to execute the body of the function, you should invoke it. In order to invoke a function, you should call it. This is the meaning of the calling a function. That is the reason why we call the function, right. So a function, if it calls itself, then that process of function calling itself, we are calling it as recursion. And the function which implements this recursion methodology, we call it as a recursive function, right. So we will discuss what this recursion is and what are the important parts that a recursive function should have, and similarly we discuss with examples of how we can and before that we will also discuss how this recursion is different from the iteration, right. What do you mean by iteration? Somebody call it as iteration and I call it as iteration. What do you mean by iteration?
Looping of the statements, sir.
Right. So whenever you want to execute a set of statements n number of times, so that is called as looping. So what are the various looping constructs we have?
While, do while, for,
While, for, and do while. These are the three looping constructs that are supported in C programming language, right. So the recursion also works in a similar manner. That means you are going to execute a set of statements repeatedly. So recursion is also something similar to that of iterations or looping. We are going to execute a set of statements number of times. In the loops also we are going to execute a set of statements n number of times, but the constructs that we use for implementing the iteration is while, for and do while. Right. But the constructs that we use for the recursion methodology is the selection statements. Can anybody tell me what are the selection statements we have? If else, right? So the recursion makes use of the if else construct, whereas the iteration makes use of the while, for and do while constructs. This is one of the major difference between the recursion and iteration. We will see all these things, right? So we will start with the definition of recursion, and then we will discuss what recursive function is. We will see what are the important parts of a recursive function, and then we will discuss how the recursion is different from the iteration and which one is better, whether we need to go for the iteration or recursion. That we will also discuss, and finally we will discuss it with an example, and then we will discuss the various types of recursion, which is one of the important concept you should remember, right? So, and finally we will end up with the discussion on advantages and disadvantages of recursion. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So recursion is a process of function calling itself repeatedly, right? It is a process where a function calls itself repeatedly. As you can see here, we are going to repeat a set of statements, right? So this is somewhat similar to that of repetition or looping, right? So coming to the actual definition, this is a simple definition anybody can give, but coming to the actual definition, the recursion, coming to the history of this recursion, the recursion is a programming technique which is evaluated or which is evolved from the recurrence relation. Have you ever heard of this term recurrence relation in mathematics?
No, sir.
Right. So in mathematics we have a concept called as recurrence relation, where the problem is divided into subproblems of smaller size, but they will be of the same nature, right? So such type of problems we call them as recurrence relations, and the concept of that recurrence relation is used to develop this recursion, and this recursion is used as a programming technique. So nothing to worry about this history and all these things, this is not that much important, but you should remember that the definition of the recursion is it is a process where a function calls itself repeatedly, right? And coming to the recursive function, as I told that the recursion is a process or a method, right? So if a function calls itself over and over again, then that function is known as recursive function. Or in simple terms, you can also say that when a function implements the recursion process, then we call such functions as recursive function. Is it clear? Very simple definitions.
Yes, sir.
Right. So recursion is a very useful programming tool we come across in the various types of data structures and algorithms, and all the method calls. What do you mean by method? What do you mean by method? Anybody please respond, what do you mean by method? Are you there?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by method? Please say whether
Function.
So the other name of method is also
function, sir.
is nothing but
Function.
function. Are you
Yes,
listening
sir.
to the class or not?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
Please,
sir.
please respond immediately.
Okay, sir.
So all the method calls, recursion or otherwise, have certain overhead operations associated with them, right? Can anybody tell me, while discussing the concept of functions, You might have heard of the term the overhead that is involved in the function call. Can anybody tell me what is the overhead that is involved in function calls? Do you know it or not?
Transferring the control to the called function, and again transferring again returning the values to the called function.
Yeah, that is somewhat overhead. It is a correct answer. But look at this example. So I have a function f1 and I started executing the body of the function. Within the body of the function I have a function call to f2, right? So what happens when a function call occurs is the compiler, when it comes across this function call, the control will immediately jump to the function definition, right? The control will immediately jump from function definition. That means the control will be transferred from function f1 to f2. But before transferring, whatever operations or calculations that have performed up to this point of time, that means this is the function call statement. So up to this function call statement, whatever operations and calculations you have performed in f1, they should be stored somewhere else, right? So what they will do is the compiler will create a stack area. A stack area will be created, and all the calculations and all the values that have been calculated up to this point will be pushed onto that stack. Then the control will jump from the function call to the function definition. From here to here there will be a jump of the control. Once the body of function f2 is executed, the control will again jump back to the calling function. So once the control has been jumped back to the calling function, what happens here is it will again go and request the stack, and it will make a lot of pop operations. So up to that point, whatever calculations or whatever values it has been stored inside the stack, they will be popped, and then it continues its execution till the last closing parenthesis or closing curly brace. So this is the overhead that is involved in any function call. You take any function call, it involves the push operations into the stack, and it involves the jumping of control from the calling function to the call function, executing the body of the calling function, call function, again returning back the control, again popping. So there exists push operations, there exists jump from the calling function to call function, there exists return of the control from the call function to the calling function, again there exists the pop operations. So these four steps, push, jump, return and pop, these four steps are considered to be the overhead that is involved in the function calls, right? Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you keep it in mind about this overhead that is involved in this function call, and we will see what is the disadvantage we have with the recursion. Recursion is nothing but a function calling itself. How many times it will call, it depends on the input that you have given, right? So if I take a factorial of 5, right, it will call factorial of 4. We will see it with an example, don't worry. And the factorial of 4 will call factorial of 3, and factorial of 3 will call factorial of 2, and then it will call factorial of 1, right? So 5 function calls are involved in it. This is 1, this is 2, 3, 4 and 5. There exist 5 different function calls when we call a factorial function with an input of number 5. Right? That means 5 into 4 operation. That means every function call involves push, jump, return and pop. So this factorial 5 calling factorial 4 involves these 4 overhead: push, jump, return, pop. Similarly, push jump return pop. Here also push jump return pop, push jump return pop. So there exists lot of overhead in the recursive function call, right? That is the reason why we call that the recursive methods are more expensive than their iterative equivalents. One important point that you should remember here is recursion is another type of repetition. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So as I told that the repetition of statements can be done in two ways. One is by using the repetitive constructs such as while, do while and for, and the second one is you can make use of the recursion concept, right? Is it clear up to this point? So repetitions can be done either by the loops or recursion. But so the important point here you have to remember is, if you have a problem of repetition, if you have any problem that involves repetition of certain sequence of steps, in such case you can implement it either by using the loops or by using the recursion. Another important point you should remember is, if you get a solution for a particular problem using loops, it can be automatically converted into the solution which is given with recursion also, right? Similarly vice versa is also possible. So you have a solution in the recursion method and you can easily convert it into a solution with iteration also. So iterations and recursions can be interchanged. It's not interchanged, can be interchangeably operated, right? So you can convert the iterative solutions into recursive solutions. Similarly you can convert the recursive solutions into iterative solutions. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now out of these recursion and iteration, so you have a problem where you have identified that the problem involves the repetition of certain sequence of steps. In such case you are in a confusion state, whether I should go with the iteration or whether I should go with the recursion, right? So both the solutions are best solutions only, but when performance is to be considered, when you need to consider the performance, when you need to have an algorithm with good performance, then it is better you should always choose the iterative solutions. Indirectly what he is going to say is, it is better you give the solution for a repetitive problem using iteration instead of recursion. The reason is very much clear, right? We have discussed it. Why? Because recursion is nothing but a function calling itself, therefore it involves function calls. Whenever the function call is involved, it involves lot of overhead. So in order to avoid the overhead or in order to reduce the overhead, it is better you design a solution for the repetitive problems using iterations only. Ardhavaindamma? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So if somebody asks you what is the best method, whether it is recursive or iterative, what do you give? What is the answer you are going to give?
Iterative.
Yeah, actually we should say that both are same only, but when performance is to be considered as the top criteria, then it is better you give solutions for the repetitive problems using iterations. Very good, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
So this
sir.
is where we are going to discuss the differences between the iteration and the recursion. Iteration versus recursion, right? So as I told, both of them, both the recursion and iteration implement repetitions. So whenever you have a problem that involves repetition of certain sequence of steps, we can go with the recursion or iteration. Right? Iteration uses repetition construct. What are these repetitive constructs we have? Rajesh has given the answer. What is that one?
Sir?
So what are the repetitive constructs we have?
Repeat.
While
Do while, for, sir.
While, do while and for, right? So iteration means it makes use of the repetitive constructs such as while, do while and for, whereas recursion makes use of the selection construct. As I told, that selection constructs are nothing but if else,
If and else.
right? So this is another major difference between this recursion and iteration. Iteration makes use of iterative constructs such as while, do while and for, whereas recursion makes use of the selection construct which is if else, right? And this is very, very important, right? While you are writing the looping constructs, right? For example, what is the syntax for the while? While there should be a condition, right? And then there is there are some statements in the while loop, right? What does this condition specify? What does the condition specify?
Either it is true or false, sir.
Yeah, it tells whether it is true or false. That means, can I say like this? It is going to tell how many times you are going to repeat this while block.
Yes, sir.
Right. So the condition specifies how many times you are going to repeat the block of this while, body of this while, right? Therefore, I can say it as a termination condition, right? Termination condition means at what point it is going to stop, terminate, it is going to stop is called as termination condition, right? So since both the iteration and recursion involves the repetition, both of them should have a termination test. This is very important. What happens if there is no termination test? Tell me what happens in while loop if there is no termination test?
Infinite loop occurs.
Infinite loop sucks, sir.
So it will enter into an infinite loop condition, right? In the similar way, there should be a termination test for the recursion also. Otherwise, the recursion will enter into a infinite function calls. So infinite function calls means the stack will be overflowed, right? So you won't get any errors or you won't get any output showing that it has entered into the infinite loop, right? So it will simply, after some time you will get an error like segmentation fault. Why? Because the stack that has been allocated for your function has been exhausted or the memory has been exhausted, right? So that this is very important, that similar to that of while or repetitive constructs, the termination test or the condition, termination condition should be specified in the recursion also, right? That termination condition we call it as the base case. Very important. What is that one? We call it as
Base case.
base case. So the base case of the recursion specifies the termination test in recursion. Very important. So what is the termination test in while, do while or for? What is the termination test for while, do while and for?
Base.
Are you there?
Yes, sir. Base case. Sir.
So the base case is the termination test for the recursion. Now tell me what is the termination test for the looping repetition constructs? You know the answer.
Condition, sir.
It is a condition, right? So the termination you have to specify using the condition, whereas in recursion you have to specify the termination test using base case. This terminology is very important, right? So both of them have the potential for endless looping. This is also we have discussed, right? So if you fail to give a correct termination test, then the looping constructs such as while, do while and for will enter into an infinite loop. In the similar manner, if you have failed in giving the correct base case for the recursion, it will also enter into a infinite condition where the complete memory will be exhausted, right? So both of them have the potential to enter into the infinity looping, right? And this is also we have discussed. Any problem that you can solve using recursion can be solved iteratively also, and vice versa. So any recursive solution you are given, you can convert it into iterative solution, or any iterative solution you are given, it can be converted into recursive solution also, right? and this is very important. We have discussed it. Which one is better solution? Recursion or iteration?
Iteration.
Iteration, sir.
Iteration, right? So programmers often choose recursion when they can't see the iterative solution. So whenever you don't have a choice of iterative solution, or if you find, if the programmer finds that the solution using the iteration is somewhat difficult when compared to that of the recursion, then he will choose the recursion. But whenever the performance is an issue, you never choose the recursion. It is always better you choose the iteration method only. Right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
once again, having a brief overview of this recursion versus iteration, both of them are used to implement the repetitions, repetition, and iteration makes use of the repetition constructs such as while, do while and for, whereas recursion makes use of the selection constructs such as if else. Both of them should involve a termination test, where in iteration we call it as the condition and in the recursion we call it as the base case. Right? Both of them have the potential to enter into the infinite loop, and any problem that can be solved iteratively can be solved recursively and vice versa. Similarly, programmers often choose iteration when they find that the solution in the iteration is difficult than the recursion. But last and final important point, whenever there is a performance issue, then you never go for the recursion. Right? It is always best to choose the iterative solution. Right. So this is a simple solution, or this is a simple example where we are going to use the recursion and iteration for the factorial. Right? Let us see how they are different. Here you can observe the first point, right? The majority of the iterative operations can be coded as recursive routines. So whatever solutions you have with the iterations or repetitions, you can convert it into recursion also. Right? Here we are going to discuss it with a factorial example. So this is the solution of factorial, finding a factorial of a given number using iteration, and this is the solution for finding the factorial of a given number using recursion. Right. So let us go with the iteration first. So this is the return type, this is the name of the function, and the function is accepting one parameter, which is n. I have taken another parameter, another variable result, and I have initialized it to 1. So what is this for loop? What is this for loop?
What is the for loop అంటే ఏ విధంగా సార్?
Under what category it will come? Is it not a repetitive construct or not?
Repetitive constructor.
It is a repetitive construct.
Repetitive construct, sir.
Since you are using a repetitive construct, it is a iterative solution. That is what I am going to say, right? So int m is equal to n, m greater than 0, m minus minus, result star is equal to m. You know about this one, right? This statement can be rewritten as result is equal to result star m, right? And finally you are returning the result. Right. This is the iterative solution. I am not going to bother about this iterative solution. But coming to the recursion, the same factorial function, finding the factorial of a given number, can be implemented using recursion also. Here also it is going to return the integer, and the name is factorial. It accepts only one parameter. See here, the first one. If n less than 1, then what is that I am doing? I am returning 1. So what is 5 factorial? Can I write it as 5 into 4 factorial?
Yes, sir.
Right. And what is 4 factorial? Can I write it as 4 into 3 factorial? Yes.
Sir.
And 3 factorial can be written as 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 factorial. Yes. That is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 factorial. So this 5 factorial, that means n factorial can be expressed as n into n minus 1 factorial. So, based upon this generic formula for finding the factorial of a given number, I am implementing this factorial function using recursion, right. So, this formula is very much clear, but coming to this first point here, what is the this is the point I want to stress on it, right. If n less than 1, right, what is 1 factorial?
One, sir.
It is 1, or else can I write it as 1 into 0 factorial?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can write. So, what is 0 factorial? It is nothing but less than 1. So, whatever value you give, whatever value we have with n, if it is less than 1, I am simply returning 1. So, this condition is called as the base case condition. This is called as the base case. So, in the previous slide we have discussed that termination test case will be implemented as the base case in the recursion. So, here is my base case, right. So, this particular statement, if n less than 1 return 1, these statements will tell the compiler when to terminate. So, by looking at these statements, what you can understand, at what condition you are going to break, or at what condition you are going to stop the recursive call?
N greater than n less than 1.
If n less than 1. So, if n is equal to 0, then I am just returning 1 and I am stopping the recursive function call, right. So, this is called as base case, right. Else, as I told that the recursion makes use of selection constructs. Selection constructs are nothing but if else. So, if n less than 1 return 1 is the base case, else I should return n into factorial of n minus 1, this one, this formula I am using, right. Return n star factorial of n minus 1. So, the factorial function is calling the factorial function, that means the factorial function is calling itself. Therefore, the factorial function is called as the recursive function, right. Since the function is calling itself, the method is called as, the process is called as recursion. Recursion is a process, whereas recursive function is a function. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Sir.
Let me explain this recursion, what happens, why we have this overhead involved in this recursion, all these things we will discuss. Right. So, let us call this factorial function with 5. Initially n is equal to 5, right. So, here n has entered the value of 5. Therefore, it will enter the body of the function. Listen carefully, this is very important discussion. This is what the design methodology is. So, if n less than 1, what is the value of 5 now? What is the value of n?
4. 5,
What is
sir.
the value of n? 5.
5.
Right.
5, sir.
5 less than 1, this condition fails. Therefore, it will go and execute this statement. So, return of n into n minus 1. So, it will return 5 into factorial of 4, right. Therefore, it is calling another function, right. So, it will go and call, this is fact of 5, and the fact of 5 is going to call fact of 4. Now, coming to the fact of 4, again it will create a new stack. Here one stack will be created and pushes and pops, everything will happen. And when it calls factorial of 4, if 4 less than 1 not equal, the condition is not satisfied. Therefore, it will execute this statement 4 into fact of 3. Let us call it as fact in short form, right. What happens here? It is again calling another function fact with input 3. So if 3 less than 1, condition fails, therefore it is going to return 3 into fact of 2. Therefore it is again calling another function. So whenever you have a function call, here there exists a stack and here there exists a stack to perform the push and pop operations, and since fact 2 has been called, fact 2 function will be called and it returns 2 star fact of 1. Again stack will be created. Since you have a function call, again fact of 1 is called, 1 less than 1, condition fails, therefore it will go and call 1 star fact of 0. Right, here also one stack will be created, and see here fact of 0 is called. Now tell me what happens here. 0 less than 1, is it true or false?
True, sir.
True, sir.
So what it should do? If the condition is true, it should return 1. Right. So from here 1 will be returned. To whom it returns? The 1 value will be returned to
Called function.
called function. Who called fact of 0? Who called fact of 0? Fact of 1 has called. Is it right or not?
Yes, sir.
So this fact of 0 becomes 1. Therefore 1 into 1. What is the value of 1 into 1? It is 1.
1, sir.
So this value will be returned to the called function. Who called this fact of 1?
Fact of 2, sir.
Fact of 2. Therefore it will return 1. What is the result here? It is 2. And this 2 will be returned to the called function, which is fact of 3. So it becomes 3 into 2, that is 6. 6 will be returned to the called function of f3, fact of f3, which is nothing but fact of 4. Therefore it is 6. Now it becomes 4 into 6, 24. The 24 value will be returned to the function which called fact of 4, that is fact of 5 has called fact of 4. Therefore 24 will be returned to this fact of 5. Now it becomes 5 into 24. ఎంతమ్మా ఇది
120, sir.
120. So the final result 120 will be returned to which function?
To the called function.
To the called function. Who called this fact of 5? Here I have not specified, but where you should write in general.
Yes, sir.
Tell me where you should write this fact of 5 function call.
Main function, sir.
Super, right. So in the main function you will call this fact of 5. So if you look at this scenario, so when you call fact of 5, it is in turn calling, who is calling this fact of 5? Main. Who is calling this main? I told you in the class. Who is going to call the main? Is main a function or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, therefore it should be called by somebody else. Who is that somebody?
Operating system, sir.
Operating system,
Yes,
sir.
your favorite subject, operating system, right? So operating system is going to call main. Main is going to call factorial of 5. Factorial 5 is going to call factorial of 4. Factorial 4 is going to call factorial of 3. 3 is going to call factorial of 2. Factorial 2 calls factorial of 1. Factorial 1 calls factorial of 0. At factorial of 0, I am getting the base case to be executed. Right? You can observe here that this is the base case. Therefore, it is going to stop the recursion at this point. That is the reason why we call it as the base case. So from fact of 0, 1 is returned to fact of 1. So 1 into 1, 1 is again returned to fact of 2. 2 into 1, the result 2 is returned to fact of 3. 3 into 2, 6 is returned to fact of 4. 24 is returned to fact of 5. 120 is returned to main. So here you are going to print the factorial value. This much overhead is involved in this factorial. This is a simple case where we find the factorial of just 5. Assume the case when you call the factorial of 10. So how many function calls are involved in factorial of 10? Any guess? When I call factorial of 10, how many function calls are involved?
11, sir.
11. Super. Right. So this much of overhead is involved in the recursion. That is just because of the function calls. So whenever you have a good solution in the iteration, or whenever you want to consider the performance as the primary criteria, then you should not choose the recursion. It is better you give the solution in the iteration only. Right. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear how the recursion is executed?
Sir.
Right. Is it clear how many cases are there in the any recursive function?
Sir.
Right. Any recursive function will have two cases. One is the base case, and here you are giving this else part. No, this is called as recursive case. What is this thing called? It is called as recursive case. So any recursive function you want to implement, it involves two cases. One is the recursive case and another one is the base case. Base case tells the compiler or whatever it may be, it will tell when to stop the recursive call, and recursive case tells how many times you have to repeat it. This is all about the recursion. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So
Yes,
we
sir.
will quickly, what is your next class?
There is no class, sir.
There is no class, right? For just 5 minutes we will quickly go through these types of recursion. This is also important. Out of these types of recursion, this linear recursion and binary recursion are important, very important, right? Right. So as I told that, for example, I have a function called f and it calls a function g, and in g it calls again the function f. Can we call this type of function calling as recursion?
Yes, sir.
You have my problem, right? You have a function f which calls g, and within g I am again calling f. Can I call it as a recursion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is a recursion, and this type of recursion is called as mutual recursion. This is called as mutual recursion.
Dual recursion.
Right. So don't assume that a function should call itself in the same function definition only, right? A function may call another function and that function in turn calls the same function. That is also one type of recursion, which we name it as mutual recursion, right?
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the various types of recursion we have, the first one is the linear recursion. Linear, what do you mean by linear?
Single.
So it will grow linearly. It will grow linearly means in this type of linear recursion, a function calls exactly once to itself each time when the function is invoked. So if a function calls itself exactly once, then such type of recursions are called as linear recursions, right? Can you tell me what is this recursion? Factorial, is it a linear recursion or not?
Yes, sir.
Right. How many times we are calling this recursion? How many times we are calling this factorial?
One time, sir.
Only once, right? So when a function calls itself exactly once during its function call, we call such type of recursions as the linear recursion, and it is the most commonly used recursion, right? Most of the times we have lot of problems to solve using the linear recursion, right? For example, factorial of a given number, finding maximum among the array of integers, finding minimum among the array of integers, all these problems can be solved linearly, that means using linear recursion. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the binary recursion, what do you understand by this term binary? by means
when we invoke the calls, it will అంటే రెండు సార్లు అవుతుంది సార్. ఇందాక
yeah, by
ఒకసారి
means
call
2,
అయింది,
by
రెండు
means
సార్లు.
2. Therefore in binary recursion a function makes 2 recursive calls to itself, right? Such type of implementations are called as binary recursions. So if you have written any code for the Fibonacci series, right, Fibonacci of n is equal to Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. This is how you will implement. That means we are going to call the Fibonacci function within the Fibonacci function twice at each and every function invoked, right? Once you invoke the function, it is going to call the same function twice. That is the reason why we call it as the binary recursion, right? So the primary example we can give for this binary recursion is Fibonacci series, and operations for tree as traversal, finding height of the tree, merging two linked lists. All these things will come under the category of binary recursion. Now can anybody tell me what do you mean by multiple recursion?
Means more than 2 recursive calls will happen.
Super, right? So when a function makes multiple recursive calls, that means more than 2 function calls, such type of recursion we call it as a multiple recursion, right? As I told that the linear recursion and binary recursion are very important from the syllabus point of view or from the theoretical point of view and examination point of view also. So you should be in a position to answer these linear recursion and binary recursion with examples, right? So you try to write what linear recursion is and you give an example using factorial. Similarly, you write what binary recursion is and you try to give an example using Fibonacci series. So that is enough, but this is what we are giving some extra information. So multiple recursion means a function is trying to make multiple recursive calls, that means more than 2 times. Such type of recursions are called as multiple recursion, right? So here we are generalizing the binary recursion. Generalizing means we are applying it to more general form, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
now,
sir.
now what do you mean by nested recursion? We know what is the meaning of recursion, we know what is the meaning of nesting, right? Tell me what do you mean by nested recursion?
Recursion inside recursion, sir.
Super, right? Nested loops means one loop inside another loop is called as nested loop. Similarly, nested recursion means one recursion inside another recursion, right? So but this is a very difficult problem that we come across in the recursions, right? Maximum we want to try to apply this nested recursion. Why? Because one recursion itself involves lot of overhead. Binary recursion involves more overhead when compared to that of the linear recursion. Similarly, the multiple recursion involves a lot of overhead when compared to that of the binary and linear recursion. And when you go to the nested recursion, one recursion inside another recursion is a very difficult task to implement, right? But we have only one example called Ackermann function, which we will come across in the mathematics, right? This Ackermann function, we have a formula for this Ackermann function, and we can implement this Ackermann function using this nested recursion, right? Don't try this, but if somebody asks you what is the best example for implementing the nested recursion, you can directly say that it is Ackermann function, which we can implement it using nested recursion. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. And the last recursion which I am going to discuss is tile recursion. What do you mean by tile? What do you mean by tile? What do you mean by tile?
Yes, sir.
Anybody please answer. What do you mean by head and what do you mean by tail? Tail means
And
end, right? So now tell me what do you understand by this tail recursion. I say that this is another form of linear recursion and more efficient than the linear recursive method. We forget all these things, but tail recursion means a function is going to call itself as the last operation, right? This is the last thing the function is going to perform. That means it is going to call itself, and that function call or the recursive call will be placed as the last operation, right? This is the important thing you have to remember in the tail recursion. The name itself is saying that you are going to implement the recursion at the tail, that means at the end, right? So tail recursion can be converted to the non-recursive one. Any recursion can be converted, in fact, right? And a good compiler can recognize the tail recursion and convert it to the iteration in order to optimize the performance of the code. This is the reason why we are saying this particular point is very important, right? I am saying that it is more efficient than the linear recursion method. The tail recursion is more efficient. Why? Why means if you take a good compiler and you give a tail recursion method to that compiler, what the compiler will do is it will automatically convert the tail recursion into an iterative solution and try to give the solution. That means it is going to optimize the performance of the code. How can you say that you are going to optimize the code when you convert a recursive method into a iterative method? Can you support this statement? Did you understand my question?
Optimize and date, sir.
Optimize means to enhance. Best. Optimize means best. Did you understand the question?
Once say the question, sir.
The question is this one: more efficient than the linear recursion method. I can give a question like this: tail recursion is another form of linear recursion, but it is more efficient than the linear recursion method. Support this statement. I am saying that it is better than the linear recursion. Why? Because when you have a good compiler and when you give a tail recursion solution to that compiler, it will not solve that problem with the using the tail recursion. It will convert it into an iteration method and it will give the solution. Why there is a need to convert the tail recursion into iteration? The answer is clear, right? It is going to optimize the performance. My question is how it is going to optimize this performance. How it is going to optimize the performance when we convert the tail recursion into iteration? Any guess you have or any answer you have?
No, sir.
Right. Previously we have discussed a lot of things, right? Whenever you have the performance as an issue, it is always better you give the solutions in the iteration method. Am I right or not? When you are considering the performance as the highest criteria, topmost priority should be given to performance, then you give the solutions using iterations rather than the recursions. That is the reason why we convert the recursions into iterations and then give the solutions in order to achieve the performance, in order to optimize the performance. Optimize means to increase. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Right. So the example of this tail recursion is reversing the elements of the array and finding the GCD, greatest common divisor. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
So how many types
Yes,
of recursions we have seen? Linear recursion, binary, multiple, nested and
Nested
tail.
tail.
Linear recursion means a function calls itself only once during the function when the function is invoked. Binary recursion means a function invokes twice. Two recursive calls will be there within the function definition itself. Multiple recursion means if a function has more number of recursive calls, more than two recursive calls, we call it as multiple recursion. Nested means recursion within another recursion, which is very difficult to implement. And the last one is the tail recursion. It is another form of linear recursion, but it is more efficient than the linear recursion. And the name tail recursion is given because the recursive function call is going to be implemented as the last operation of any function. any recursive function, right? So a compiler will convert the tail recursion into an iteration solution to optimize the performance of the code. These are the different types of recursions we have. Right. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Right. And the last slide we have is advantages and disadvantages of recursion. Advantage is recursion is more elegant. Elegant means it looks very simple. Right. If you compare the codes of this factorial, iteration and recursion, you can observe here that recursion is implemented in a simple manner, right? So the code looks very simple. To view, the recursion is more elegant and it requires a few variables which make program clean, right? You can implement the repetitive solutions using recursion with very few variables, right? So that your program appears very clean. And recursion can be used to replace complex nesting code, but it's not that much easy to convert a complex nesting code into recursion, right? Why? Because to understand the recursion logic itself is difficult, right? But he has given it in the advantage, no worries. So recursion can be used to replace complex nesting code, but the disadvantage is, as I said, that it is very hard to think the logic of the recursive function, right? It's not that easy to get the logic, right? And it is also difficult to debug the code containing recursion. Why? Because lot of function calls are involved in the recursion. So where you, for example, in factorial 5, I have called factorial 4. Factorial 4 in turn calls factorial 3. Factorial in turn calls 2, 1, like that. So there are a lot of function calls involved. So when you have an error, you cannot identify at what function call the error has been occurred. So it becomes very difficult to debug, to identify the errors in the code which involves recursion. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of recursion we have. So this completes the concept of recursion. We have discussed what recursion is. A process of calling a function calling itself is called as recursion. We have discussed what recursive function is. A function which implements the process of recursion is called as recursive function. After that, we have gone through the differences between the iteration and recursion. After that, we have seen an example to distinguish the iteration and recursive solutions using factorial of a given number. And then we have discussed various types of recursion, and finally we ended our discussion with advantage and disadvantage of recursion. Is it clear? Right. So this
Yes,
is
sir.
the end of today's session. Thank you one and all.